started roughing people from America and Europe.
Well, they had police going in disguises and starting trouble, and then they would turn around and blame it on the rioters who were peaceful, or the protesters who were peaceful, and then they would show up with more police and have an excuse to start shooting.
Escalate.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't work.
Because people showed up in large enough numbers. Yeah.
There's just this constant.
And they couldn't shut it down. And when they tried to shut it down, they made it worse. They really pissed people off.
Right.
I mean, people have gotten so hooked on Facebook and stuff. I mean, this was probably the first Facebook revolution we had.
I really believe, I was saying earlier that I think that this will be the first Google country. I mean, I could see Google really influencing the way that transparency develops in Egypt. It's the head of Google's.
Well, when they had the Russian coup in 1989, the internet was in its fledgling stage, but or not in 89, it was what, 92?
Yeah, well.
But they said that it was, the reason why it didn't succeed was because too much information was coming out for all the
He's been
bulletin
dodging the
board
video all night.
And at that time, people were like, what is a bulletin board service? But there was enough of them out there who were chatting back and forth. It was like, ham radio operators that even the people who tried to lock Gorbachev up in his, try and lock him up and hush him away, were totally caught by surprise, and that basically ended the Soviet Union. Was people on bulletin boards with computers and modems. That is actually the first internet revolution. Was the end of the Soviet Union.
Well, I think we're seeing another one now with the fourth estate, which the media, which most people in the line says is performing the task that it's supposed to, is being overtaken now by instant like Twitter and Facebook.
But it's all about credibility, and people can now buy smartphones. They can buy video cameras that shoot just as well as the TV station's video cameras. You can edit on a laptop. That's the TV station's laptop. We're editing on that,
Right.
We can edit on a laptop. So everything is becoming even. There's no longer this gap between. The only way you can get access is to have access to the right kind of equipment. The only way you can get the right kind of equipment is to have the access. The catch-22 we always used to have. Now that's no longer true. Anybody can buy with relatively little money the same kind of stuff that the professionals are using. Now it comes down to your ability to use it, your ability to tell a story with it, and your ability to establish some credibility. And a lot of the TV stations are being run by large corporations who are only care about the top 3% of their investors. They don't care about anybody else.
They just want the money.
They just want to make money fast for the top 3% of their investors. If it means we have to lay off our whole workforce because it looks good on the balance sheet for this quarter, but who cares about the company, we'll do it. And so these companies are selling all their credibility down the river, and that's the biggest asset they have. So that's what's going to kill the media companies, not the technology. Because there's a lot of bloggers out there, and all these people who are getting laid off from the media are starting to discover that they can do it out of their basement, and they can carve out a little niche for themselves of narrow casting or local casting something, and find some of their own advertisers. And who needs the media anymore?
Another thing I wanted to pitch was the idea that so a consortium of like-minded people get together and they're trying to pull something off. Is there a possibility of maybe also approaching businesses against local focus and say, hey, we want to advertise your businesses using social media and YouTube and some unconventional things? And then
live streaming, we have these live stream broadcasts we do, and then you can go out and cover anything.
Like Speaker's Corner.
Yeah, you can go out and cover anything. You can go out to, like you said, bands or performances. Being Mardi Gras, that's the direction I'm trying to go in.
Well, that's what I believe in.
And that's why
I like to do it in a way
that's why I did name Swoboda as a multimedia blog. It's a platform to experiment with all this stuff.
Yes, but real quick, which Tuesday's fat? It's coming out
March 8th.
Yeah, 8th. Today's the early.
Yeah.
So
What's
it's
it
Still less than a month.
so I was, I've been looking at ways to. I used to be in print, and that used to make sense. And then what I wanted to do was move into DVDs and put everything on DVDs.
Me too.
It would be like 3 years.
Here's me driving up to your house.
Oh.
Driving past the shady ladies.
But then, so DVDs though, not expensive, but now it seems redundant. It seems like almost more.
I tried to do it before that on videotape. I put Swoboda out in 2000 on videotape, and I was worried that I want to give out these videotapes, but I tried to sell them at first. And the only reason I wanted to sell them,
There's my car. It's movie star now.
I wanted to sell them at cost. So if you sold it, people wouldn't go, oh, look, free videotapes, and record the football game on it.
Yeah, right.
But then the DVDs came around, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll change over to DVDs. Well, I never did because YouTube came around, and what's the point? Now you can create your blog and put videos up on
The
it.
difference now is that the one extra step where I think when we take it, sell it to band stuff as opposed to just a low cost.
Oh, forget about selling it to bands.
Well, right. But I mean, Jessica's brother is in the recording industry, and not that I'm pitching him as a component. It's just like from what I've seen, bands want representation, and they want decent audio capture to go with the video. If there's a way to build in a relatively
Seriously, forget about the bands.
well, it's not. It's what I'm thinking.
What bands want more than anything, I'm going to be really cynical. What bands want more than anything, most of them, is they want their dime bags.
Okay.
And the good recording and everything is going to go out the window. You know, and then when you're talking about a band who's up at that level where they have the manager and stuff that you're dealing with, the manager says, I am willing to pay you. A lot of times they're cheapskates about it. They're saying, I'm willing to pay you to record my band and stuff, and we're going to get a good recording, and we're going to shop it around so we can get more gigs. But by the time they're up to that level, they're usually so corporate that...
No, you're right. So as opposed to that, then...
So I focused on artists.
Well, artists who are just people. No, but the flip side of that
But
is...
there's enough diversity in there that...
There's,
And I've also,
public meetings.
yeah, I've also focused in on not-for-profit groups. You know, they need to prove for their grants that they've done something. So if you go out and record their thing for them and you convince them, okay, put enough money in your PR budget that it's worth our while to come out and share it with us, we can come out and shoot your thing at low cost to you.
Right.
Give you the
But
proof.
it has to be at least that they're covering the basic costs.
Oh,
of your
well, more than that. I mean, it has to cover, it has to be profitable enough to us that we can make a living.
Yeah, but it could offset the cost of the expenses.
But here's the thing about video and photographic professionals. They are a bunch of lazy douchebags. All they want to do is make the big score. They don't want to touch any of these small jobs because it's too hard to work. They just want to work once a month and make $16,000 or no less than $6,000. And then they'll always say,
My uncle, Life Healthy,
Yeah.
he had enough, I mean, he gave 8 acres to a church and they built a church on it. Because he took all of the crappy,
Yeah.
nasty, small construction jobs that nobody else would take.
yeah, construction people are like that too. Lawyers have become like that. They don't want to touch small jobs anymore. You can't get a lawyer if you're fighting something that's under $100,000, you know. They want these big settlements so they can get a cut of that. And if you're trying to, there's no justice anymore, you know.
What's
Because
the average cut going for these days?
I think they want no less than $30,000, and their cut is usually somewhere close to like 40 or 50%.
Yeah, and so
And a lot of them, if you ever watch, I think it was you that's telling me that all laws are written to be for litigation now.
yeah,
But if you look at what lawyers are always going for now, they're creating cases, and you know, like the ones that come on the TV and say, you know, basically we're going to chase an ambulance for you, and they create this case. Call us if you stub your toe on this. You
And
know.
that's one of the reasons why I love my cousin Rick. See, he flipped what you're talking about.
Yeah.
He was living in California. You know, he grew up body surfing and all that stuff. And they put out a new law, and he would complain And it got to the point where he was articulate enough, Jeff-like, that he's in this area, and they take the top of the State Department dealing with that, and he'd bring 2 arms with him to talk to him. And he'd show them how the laws that they were trying to instigate were unconstitutional and stuff. He even had to face, they went beyond states, and federal agents came and talked to him, and he shut them down with knowledge and articulation. But he did that battle for over 20 years. His big baby was the ocean, and what a resource it is, and that's all that about it. And he had, like this area of this house of paperwork and documentation to support himself in doing this, and the evidence of what had happened and what they had said.
So, I was looking into, I used to know a guy who did ad buying. He bought chunks of airtime on television stations. But I don't know, there's an investment there, to do advertising sales. Unless it's an unconventional approach, unless it's something like talking to people about trying to advertise their services.
A lot of people don't know where the next $1 billion idea is going to come from.
Nobody does.
Well,
but the whole thing is, if one person has multiple will, it's just who's the first to get it patented or out.
Well, if you can beat people to the punch, like if you're first, so I'm looking at this Justin TV, and I'm looking at YouTube, and I'm looking at Facebook and social media. And I'm starting to identify that there's the possibility to use these as commercial, as vehicles for the sales of commercial things, like Craigslist. Is really good at that. eBay. But how does one capitalize on the lack of competitors in the advertising space on Facebook?
You're making a really boring TV show.
Yeah, he's shooting the ceiling. Okay, now we got the room. Now we got some texture.
Yeah, I need to cut some firewood real fast. Let me start.
That's the $1 million, probably the $1 billion question.
Yeah.
How can people make money doing this stuff?
You've got to convince the people with money to give it to you, to transform something that they're unaware of how to do into something that's going to translate into higher sales for them.
Yeah.
So that's always conventionally.
Or you could do it the American way and sell stock.
Well, if we had a company and we could issue stock in it, that's an S corp.
But
There's a few stages. It's a little bit more expensive to incorporate an S corporation, but I'll tell you what, if it has a decent idea, then you can sell it. Facebook is a $50 billion company now.
And they really haven't made a lot of money.
Yeah, they don't even disclose where their money.
Well, they don't have any money really coming in. Their money is coming in from Wall Street.
It's perception that they are significant. Now, I will say this, they're the world's biggest scrapbooking project.
Yeah.
But the thing that, this is the difference though, there are a lot of people out there, I'm really trying to, Victoria, there are people like this Mardi Gras parties, right? They pay photographers, they pay people to do things. Now, it might be their own tight-knit groups or whatever, that part I don't know. But there's definitely a demand, there may be people who want their wedding online. But that's a different, again, that's consolidating all of these different photography and videographer, because videographers are participating in all realms.
Yeah, it's
Some for money, some for no money.
It's the very traditional approach that photographers have, that just little by little they're chipping away at the technology, but they're still using this old-fashioned, pay me, wedding photographers are expensive.
Yeah, big money.
Very expensive. And it's pay me at least $3,000 to do your wedding, and here's my portfolio. And a lot of people get cheated by those too.
Yeah.
A lot of people just show up with a camera. I'm a wedding photographer. Pay me $3,000 up front. Sure. And they never show up.
That's
Or when they show up, their pictures are crap.
Or the side version is given something earned with somebody else's cremated remains.
Yeah. Well, weddings are a pain in the ass, and I won't touch them.
Well, just gonna try to get a building
I can give you a
recently
good video for that.
with an idea, right? The idea I pitched